Okay, guys, welcome to another quick ESPN video with myself, Colin, Udoh, Sam, Ogunleye. We are at the Prince Moulay Stadium for Nigeria versus Morocco, but we have been in the media center watching Senegal take on Egypt. And I normally start these videos with what a game, but it wasn't an exciting game, but Senegal got the job done, courtesy of a Sadio Mane goal. Colin, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts on the game? And I think we were just discussing Egypt were already in the game, were they? Senegal complete domination, I would say.
Yeah, look, I was really disappointed in Egypt, but you can understand why they do what they did. The strategy was, I wouldn't say it was wrong, but for seven-time African champions with a pedigree that they have coming into this game, to just sit back there in a low block and, cede everything to Senegal, I thought was really disappointing. But you've got to give credit to Senegal. They kept plugging away, kept pushing, kept trying to get something. But it's really disappointing. You've got Mamouche, you've got Lamouche, you've got Mohamed Salah. You really, really should do better than playing like a third grade African team. So on that front, I was disappointed. But after they got behind, Hussam Hassan made the changes and they came out and they started actually playing football. And you could see that's exactly the kind of quality that we expect from Egypt. Unfortunately, they sort of threw it away earlier on and got themselves totally dominated. But you've got to give credit to Senegal. They kept to the game plan. They played well and they eventually got the victory. The sad part is Captain Kalidou Koulibaly will not be in the final because he picked up a second yellow card. So they're going to have to manage without him.
Yeah, that's a huge miss. Whoever they face in the final, that's going to have a huge implication on the Senegal team. Well, they do have good quality in the squad. Sam, I'm good. Speaking of quality in the squad, sorry, Sadio Mane again. He might be aging, but his impact on this team is everlasting. We just checked before: 2 goals, 3 assists in this tournament, and a big goal today. How much of an impact do you think he can have in the final moving forward?
Yeah, I think when you look at a player like Sadio Mane, you're always going to expect him to turn up in big games and turn up in big moments. He's obviously been like Senegal's main player for the last, decade or so. So I think with Sadio Mane, you've got to expect something special. I think whoever they play in the final, whether it's Morocco, whether it's Nigeria, they're obviously going to be looking at him as, the danger point. I think what's even more scary for me about Senegal is that I remember I watched them against when they beat England in Nottingham a few months back. And, Mane didn't play that game. So it's like Senegal still can win a game without Mane, which makes them even more scary. So the fact that Mane is in this squad, he's aging, but he's still influencing the game. But then you look at the team and it's like they could literally play without him and maybe even play in a similar way. So I think either way, you've just got to watch out for Senegal, man.
Yeah, the squad depth is strong. I thought today, as much as Sadio Mane, I think he was playing really well, and he was still showing that he can beat a man, he could drop a shoulder, do all that nice stuff. Iliman Ndiaye is another player who was really influential today as well. One of my favorite players to watch. Colin, for you, were there any players that stuck out for you in Senegal that we should, if Nigeria get there, we should watch out for in the final?
Oh yeah, Papa Gay is one that I've admired, and he brings energy, and you can see the way he just kept, even when I think he took that shot that deflected off before Mane scored. They're always in those very dangerous positions, and I think that. Look, we talked about it before. Senegal are a very dangerous team. They can hurt you in multiple different ways, and they showed that today against Egypt. The ball was going wide, they were going central. They were doing everything, pulling Egypt out of position. And so you do expect that whoever they face in the final, Nigeria, Morocco, the good thing is I don't think any of these two teams are going to do what Egypt did and sit back and expect Senegal to come at them. I think we're going to see both sides straight punches, whether it's Morocco or Nigeria, and that's going to make for a very, very fantastic game of football for the Africa Cup of Nations final.
Sam, I'm going to ask Colin the same question as well. But what next for Egypt and Mo Salah in particular? I guess because obviously it was a big moment, big chance for him to win an AFCON. He's obviously aging, but what next for him and Egypt?
Yeah, I think it's quite sad. I'll be honest with you. I'm one of them, people who's been advocating for Mo Salah. I think he's, the best African player to play in the Premier League. I think he's definitely, top 5, top 6 African players in the last 20 years. So it's kind of sad that he's left without an AFCON. You look at Mane's who's won one. You look at Mahrez who've won one. These guys have been super influential in terms of the African game over the last decade or so. So for him not to have one, I feel like it's going to really hurt him. I feel like that's going to be like the missing piece in his career. Who knows? Like, obviously, football's a crazy game. You might see him in 2 years at the next AFCON, but I feel like this was the last opportunity for him to have a real impact, in my opinion. But the thing is with Mo Salah, it's crazy because, like, even as he's aging, especially with, like, you know, with his club form, he seems to be getting better. I know he has a couple of seasons here and there where, you know, things might be a little bit off, but then he'll surprise you and, you know, win the Golden Boot, win the Playmaker Award. So who knows how good Mo Salah will be in 2 years. But if I'm being honest, on paper, it doesn't look good. I think this was the last chance. I think it's going to hurt him.
What are your thoughts on that, Colin? So I know we were talking yesterday in the preview. There's a lot of pressure on this. Yeah.
I agree totally. Look, like we said, when you're a superstar in Egypt, one of the basics that you're supposed to do is deliver the World Cup. It's like being a superstar in Brazil or Argentina. You're supposed to deliver the World Cup. If Messi hadn't won the World Cup, the last World Cup, his legacy would have been dented forever. And it's the same thing with Brazil. Ronaldo in '94, Romario, all of that whole group, they were expected to win the World Cup, and they did. So it's the same thing with Egypt. When you're a superstar in Egypt, one of the basic things you're supposed to do is win the Africa Cup of Nations. And unfortunately for Salah, he's not been able to deliver that. And he's getting on in years. He's 31 now. By the time the next AFCON rolls around, he's going to be 33. We're not sure he's going to have the same kind of influence or effect that he's had over the years when that comes around. And maybe the good news for him is that we've got 2 back-to-back AFCONs in 27 and 28 before we go into the 4-year cycle. So maybe slim chance there that he might be able to still do it, but it's a long shot. And I think that this was his last real opportunity to win the AFCON with Egypt. I wouldn't be surprised at all if I hear Salah announce his retirement after this game or in the coming days.
Wow, yeah, no.
Sorry, going to the World Cup, I beg your pardon. I mean, announce his retirement after the World Cup because Egypt are going to the World Cup. So I won't be surprised if Salah announces he's retiring after the World Cup.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds like it generally could happen. We'll turn our attentions to the game that's going to happen next. Senegal's opponents. They'll sit down and anticipate who they'll face. So, guys, one last time there. I know this video will be short-lived somewhat. Colin, your prediction yesterday was 3-1. I'm leaning with you. I trust you now. I trust you. You're getting your trust. Sam, what is your prediction, man?
Oh man, listen. I've been saying the entire tournament that I feel like I get the vibes of 2013. I get the vibes of Nigeria 2013 winning the AFCON. And I think it's going to be a bit one-sided today. The reason why I say that is because I feel like Nigeria are going to get past Samoans. I feel like they're a better team, first of all. They're going to get past Samoans in the stadium. And I think they're going to put on a performance that proves why they should be in the final. My prediction earlier was 4-0. And I know it's outlandish. I know it's crazy. But I have to stick with my guns. So I'm gonna go 4-0 Nigeria.
Strong prediction. Okay. Me and Colin have gone a little bit more conservative.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. But we still the Nigeria win. Well, either way, guys, thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you on the next video. Make sure you stick with us, and see you on the next one.